Ladies and gentlemen, the following podcast is scheduled for one fall. Introducing your hosts, Kids at Heart.
Why, hello there, you crazy kids.
What's up, children of the Wrestle Real world? We are the Kids at Heart.
Damn right.
I would like to just acknowledge that one of my favorite things about Matt creating the Streamlabs thing at the bottom is during the intro, you don't just see one of us pop up at the bottom of the screen, because that always ended up happening because of the size of our video. But no, we are here today, and I'll be honest with you, we are pissed.
Right.
like we already had said that this was going to be an incredibly somber wrestle reel. As you could tell in the thumbnail, I put the airing of grievances, just like the Festivus Jerry Stiller, Frank Costanza once told us, because we have a lot of grievances to air about the WWE.
Yeah, there's a lot to complain about today, which is Nick, I've come to the realization that Wrestle Reel is just therapy for me. Like every time we come on this show, every Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central, and I think to myself, like I just get to whine, bitch, and complain for 2 hours, and then I go watch some Schmodown and I call it a day. So like it's free therapy, because I come in, I air my grievances. We're about to do that right now for the next 2 hours, or presumably next 2 hours, and it's going to be great. But we have a little bit of a Wrestle Reel toy corner, a little bit of a show and tell here. What's going on, Buck? Brandon only. What's up, Brandon? I'll see you in a little bit, brother. But Nick, you said you had some purchases. We have a Wrestle Reel show and tell. I want to see him, baby. I want to see him.
We also would just like to say Happy Pride Month, Wwe Summer.
Damn right. All inclusive here at Wwe Real Entertainment.
So I'll start off with the more subtle one, even though maybe in the shadows you can see it. I planned this like new setup so I could have something cool in the background.
Right.
And it is very dark in the background. So I have to like kind of figure that out, because yesterday I was featured on the Really Scared podcast.
Yes, you were. Check out Really Scared, 8 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays.
I was able to, or I put my copy of Us, which is right here, up there in my Family Guy artwork section, and it was unseen. So, I had all this careful planning, but that said, I went to FYE and I found myself an Edge.
That's cool.
Figure. I was jealous of Chris Anthony Lopez rowing wrestling pop collection. So I had to join in, and my prized wrestling pop figure.
I'm jealous of this one. I'm jealous.
You all know how much I love Bray Wyatt. You all know how much I love the freaking Fiend.
Look at that.
And to find this pop figure at a little bit of a higher price than I had wanted to pay for it. That said, I didn't mind.
Right.
I was absolutely positively thrilled. I also saw the John Cena figure that you were talking about.
The transparent one?
Yeah.
Oh, the Elite fig. Yeah.
And I was very tempted to grab it, but I was looking for Luchasaurus. I'm not going to lie, and I didn't see Luchasaurus.
We got to go to Ringside Collectibles. That's what we got to do.
We love Ringside Collectibles, but I also, and this is just stupid. Well, I'll be honest. I should have taken a picture at the store that I got this at, and I'm realizing there's a sticker on the bottom of it, so I'm trying to peel it off very carefully. They had wrestling figures, in like a case, and there's a lot of really cool names. My cousin and I, who I was with, shout out to Donnie, we were looking through like old wrestling figures, and we found a wrestler of, the one we shouldn't name. His name starts off with Crispin, that he used to have, and we found a bunch of really cool stuff, and then we found the weirdest looking Kurt Angle figure I had ever seen. But he has hair. But
it's hair Angle.
He has hair, but he's also wearing like a more modern, like bald Kurt Angle outfit. I'm like, that's Vladimir Kozlov's head on Kurt Angle, isn't it? And I'm like, no, wait a second. The Kurt Angle figure that I had when I was younger had hair.
Right.
It was a hand-me-down one. I found it somewhere, but it had hair. And then the guy walks by who works there. He's like, "Listen, I don't know who did that or how that happened, but that is Vladimir Kozlov's head on Kurt Angle's body."
Yo, was it a Lucy or was it in the box?
Yeah, they're all loose. All these.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But yeah, it just was so funny to me because I'm like, that I swear is like, they had like a bludgeon. They had Eric Rowan Bludgeon Brother, and my cousin wanted me to buy it so damn badly that I did it because
how much was it?
I don't know. I didn't even look.
Okay.
They were like $5 a figure or something like that, so it really wasn't that bad. But like, but another thing that I had found was that the next Build-A-Figure set that they're currently that's like currently released at Target and stuff like that is a Paul Ellering Build-A-Figure, and he has the dummy with him.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Obviously
I forget what it's called. Yeah.
I just watched the Wrestling with Regret that had the dummy with.
We need Brian Zane on Wrestle Reel.
I know.
We really need Brian Zane.
But yeah, I'm like, oh, that is awesome. That it's not Damien, no. But also
do a quick Google search.
You know who? I'll pose one question before we get into this.
Yes. Who
attacked Rey Mysterio? Is it Dominic?
We're already gonna do the turn on the dad story.
That's what they do. What happened with
not.
Enzo and Cass breaking up so soon and stuff like that?
Dude, that'll break my heart if they already split up Dominic and Rey Mysterio. Like I probably will cry.
It's so freaking everything that they do. Well,
that'll
listen,
break my heart.
Listen, we're mad. We are angry, and me bringing up that is a good enough transition to bring up count number 1.
Let's do it. Rocco, baby.
It's Rocco. Yes.
There you go. I'm not mad at Rocco. Rocco's definitely something, but we're not gonna talk about Rocco today. We'll talk about Rocco later. But
well, hey, listen. A Paul Ellering managed team is another one of those teams that has been released. Now this was last year, but still.
Yeah. The
Authors of Pain are a problem within this sphere as well. You know what I mean?
Totally. And so for those who don't know, I mean, it's weird to say that people don't know about this because I feel like it was the talk of the town for the last couple days because we had another Black Wednesday and Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
Aleister Black, Ruby Riott, Lana, and Santana Garrett, my favorite wrestler,
I know,
all got released on Wednesday.
It was when I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a joke when our group chat, weirdly enough, it wasn't even you breaking the news to me. It was somebody else. I think maybe Taylor.
I think it was Taylor too.
Messaged the group chat. And again, I was very late to the party on it every single time, like I always am. But Braun Strowman, out of all people, a dude who just fought for the WWE Championship like 2 weeks ago, is being released from the WWE. Like, what on earth is going on right now?
Okay. Hey, I'm trying to find the initial conversation because I was hot about it. Where the hell? When was it? Wednesday? Where am I? I'll figure it out.
Wednesday, yeah. I mean, here, I'll continue on with my pitch.
Please.
There's so much speculation going on right now, and we'll get into it in our second count as to what could be happening. Unfortunately, I don't even know.
Right.
It's so goddamn bizarre what is going on with the WWE right now. Now, you know, let's not even think about Braun Strowman for a second, right?
Right.
Aleister Black is in the process of reinventing his character in such an incredible way to some. I mean, I thought it was fine. I was happy to see him back on TV. Utilizing a superstar that realistically, and it's nothing against him, should have probably been released whenever Zelina Vega was released. You know what I mean? Just because it seemed like they were a tandem pair. WWE didn't know what to do with them. You would have expected them to have released him with Zelina. And nothing on him. It's just, you know, it was the same. It was the Bo Dallas situation. It was a situation that Apollo Crews, before he reinvented himself, was in for such a long time, where they didn't have anything to do with you, and you weren't on TV. I personally was always like, why don't you just send Aleister Black back down to NXT? It worked for Finn Balor. He could do wonders over there, and instead WWE was like, hey, we have faith in this guy. We are going to repackage him, and he is going to come back with a vengeance. We're even going to be playing into storyline. That's how much attention to detail they had with Aleister Black, was that one of his freaking corneas was white.
Let me walk you through my feelings, right? So I found the message. It was at 10:43 in the morning, my time, Central Time, in our little Watt chat. And Taylor Cleek, host of Really Scared, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, Thursdays. He says, in shocking news, and this is from Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful. He's the one that dropped this news of Braun Strowman, Aleister Black, Ruby Riott, Lana, Santana Garrett, and Buddy Murphy. How dare I forget Buddy Murphy?
And Buddy Murphy, yes.
So that happens. And my response, and I'm going to use my one here, was holy fuck.
Yep.
That was my initial response, and I was tripping. I was at work, and I was like, huh? Like I just got done on radio, and I'm like, because Braun Strowman was the one that really caught me.
Yes,
because Braun was. I'm like, okay, like yeah, he'd been off TV for a minute, but he just wrestled a WWE title match a couple weeks ago at WrestleMania Backlash. He threw Shane McMahon to his death at WrestleMania this past April. So
a match that surprised us.
That was surprisingly fun. Yes. So I'm over here thinking to myself, yo, Braun is at least to what rumors are, Vince loves that beef, the big guys, right? Braun was that. Yes. Braun had charisma. He was that beef. He was that guy. It was awesome. And Braun was great when he was on top, but he was white hot. They just didn't do shit with him.
He was a homegrown superstar as well.
Yes, and they taught him everything he knew. Yeah, everything.
One of the last that they had, a superstar who clearly gave a shit and reinvented himself. As in, he lost a ton of weight, just looked like a completely different wrestler out there. It's just, to me, sorry, continue.
No, so like that happens, right? And then I see Aleister Black. Aleister Black just came back like 2 weeks ago. He just showed up on SmackDown 2 weeks ago. He kicked the living hell out of Big E, and it's like, oh snap, that's Big E's next feud, Aleister Black.
Now Big E will be feuding with Apollo Crews for the next 6 months.
Yes, because apparently we're running out of ideas. Because apparently we don't have that many people, even though they have the most bloated roster in professional wrestling.
Well, so a little bit less bloated now, right?
Apparently, just a little bit though. So Aleister Black, that rocks me because he just came back, and we love Aleister Black over here at WrestleReel. And this is how we're gonna do him? Seriously? Okay, word. And Aleister Black, like, he was super nice about it. Like, he talked about it on Thea Trinidad's or Zelina Vega's Twitch. He just went on and was just talking about his whole experience there. Had nothing but nice things to say about everybody. Vince, Paul Heyman, the people in creative, like all this crazy stuff. He had nothing but nice things to say. Almost too nice about it, if you ask me. Because I'd be pissed. But apparently the rumors are like, oh, budget cuts. And then in the second count, we'll get to probably what the real reason is. But that rocked me seeing Aleister Black, Ruby Riott, and Lana. I'm not to bunch these two together, but both of them leaving have a bigger impact on the already just anemic women's division.
Tag team division.
That too.
Like that? What's a division? Sorry, go ahead.
No, like that too, dude. The tag division's already nothing, right? Now the only team that's still together is Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose.
Which
that's not the champ.
I'm not trying to be that guy, but those were going to be the two that I thought were going to be released.
And I mean,
I'm not wishing. I'm not one of those people who need to go onto Twitter and be like, "Oh, why couldn't it have been Baron Corbin?" And then Baron Corbin has to clap back like, "Why do you want people to lose their jobs and livelihood and blah blah blah?" You know,
right?
It's like I just out of all the underutilized talent, you know, I thought Lana was on every single week. I thought Ruby Riott, the Riott Squad was a thing for a while. You know what I mean?
Right.
They had what was a pretty heartbreaking loss. And again, you know, I understand that Aleister Black's came out of nowhere, but I still am kind of speculating that they knew something was up.
I I used to say, right, I still say this in confidence, that WWE has one of the best women's rosters, NXT included. They have one of the best women's rosters in wrestling. I will stand by that. But Raw and SmackDown, I believe the count is 7. There are 7 women or female wrestlers, female superstars on SmackDown right now. 7. And that's it. And I believe that includes Tamina and Natalia. Okay. Now you boil it down to 5. That is, you got a handful. And yo, you can't do anything like you can't. What are you doing at that point? So you break up 2 of your pre-existing tag teams. You break up Lana and Naomi. You break up the Riot Squad, and now you have 1 tag team left to fight for your women's tag championships. Those are gone. Like if they didn't mean anything before, how you can have 1 tag team? And I know WWE hates tag teams for whatever damn reason.
Yeah,
this is what you're doing.
On you, WWE, for doing Tag Team Week on your Instagram. Seriously.
Yeah, that's not poor timing at all. And I'm just so flustered. And Ruby Riott was someone who I always thought was underappreciated and underutilized in WWE. Since she got called up, they did nothing with her, nothing. And they put her with the Riot Squad with Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan,
another wrestler who suffered the same fate.
Right, Liv Morgan's the only one left from the Riot Squad, and I feel so bad for her because they've been teasing the hell out of these all different things, and we've been waiting for that push for Liv Morgan for like 3 years,
and it could be coming for all we know now. I guess
this could be it, but damn, like we're already like doggy paddling in the water with the women's division, and now this is what we're doing. We're releasing 2 more of them. Well, and yes, the big reason's budget cuts, but are you kidding me? This is what we're doing now. This is what we're doing.
And they're putting Bianca Belair on a friggin' pedestal, and that's fantastic.
As they should.
As they definitely should. But if you think about it, going into the Summer WrestleMania, SummerSlam, the obvious match is Sasha Bailey and Bianca. So where does that leave these other SmackDown superstars? I have a feeling that Liv Morgan's going to be a manager next, and it's going to suck because she's so. WWE did that like 24 series about her, and you would have thought that something was coming from that. You know what I mean? And nothing did. And let's talk about another elephant in the room that I just want to touch on this elephant in the room for a few seconds. Mm-hmm. Keith Lee, nobody knows what's going on with him. And Mia Yim is another one of those wrestlers that is part of that SmackDown 7 right now. What are they doing with her? I worry that more stuff is going to come from this, and that is the issue that I have. I don't know. It's like sure. At first, they're releasing superstars that they don't really use that much. Out of all of them, the Samoa Joe was pretty surprising, but not exactly, because they were strangle holding him to doing only one thing, being commentary. I'm sitting here, everybody's so shocked that Samoa Joe's released. I'm more shocked that the Iconics get released instead within that group, because at least Billie Kay is on TV. That said, at least they're releasing superstars that maybe aren't utilized as much, and blah, blah, blah. And then we get to this week, where the Riot Squad has been on SmackDown a lot recently, where Aleister Black is coming back. Braun Strowman was just fighting for the damn WWE Championship in a match that everyone thought he was going to win, surprisingly. You know what I mean? I mean, not us here. I kind of thought that they were going to keep it with Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre, which, for all we know, those could be the 2 wrestlers left on the roster fighting each other for the rest of their lives.
For every belt for the rest of the year.
But, I'm sitting here going, I mean, God, these wrestlers are going to appear in other promotions, and they're going to be so much better.
All these people are going to be fine.
What's his name? Just appeared on Impact Wrestling yesterday. I keep forgetting his name.
Talking about Morrissey?
No, not W. Morrissey. Love him. Love that name. Terrible. No, I'm talking about one of the Forgotten Sons just debuted on.
Oh, Steve Cutler.
Yeah, he just debuted on Impact and clearly is going to be better. It's so freaking strange to me what is going on right now. Now, WWE, I almost feel like what I'm about to say bleeds into our next segment because,
Mhm.
you know, I'm thinking maybe this will be the Drew McIntyre or Jinder Mahal effect, even though the Jinder Mahal effect is more just because of the Indian market that they were trying to go for.
Sure.
As in, you know, they leave for a little while and they, you know, gain 15 million pounds of muscle and they
Mhm.
come back and they're at the top of their game and, you know, they're fighting for championships and stuff. But that said, and I don't want to move too quickly on from this point, we don't know what the status of the WWE is going to be for something like that to happen. You know what I mean?
Right. And
And
there's a lot of question marks definitely going forward.
it's question marks as in like, what the hell is going on? And you know, maybe WWE is releasing these bigger names right now. So when the fans come back, because you know, if the fans were around, they'd be chanting Aleister Black. They'd be chanting Ruby Riott. They'd be chanting Braun Strowman. Are you kidding me?
Give me a month, baby. They come back in the month.
I just so I guess the most flooring one out of all of them is Braun Strowman, right?
Yes, but I mean, there are a bunch of reports coming back. There are a bunch of reports saying like, "Oh, Braun had like $1 million contract, and you gotta shed like since it's budget cuts, you gotta shed the big contract that you weren't really using too much." Sure, whatever. Aleister Black though didn't make any sense. Like I don't know how much money these people are making, but Aleister Black was making $1 million a year, and he sat out for majority 2020. It's like, well, like, damn,
there's
dude.
no way. There's no way.
And I'm over here, and I want to shed a light on Buddy Murphy real fast.
Yes,
because
like, we keep forgetting about Buddy Murphy.
Because Buddy Murphy is when they split up Wesley Blake and Buddy Murphy. I thought like this is a mistake. This was years ago. Like this was a mistake when they split them up. And now you have him do the whole Seth Rollins thing. You have him date Aaliyah Mysterio. I almost said their shoot name. You have him date Aaliyah Mysterio on SmackDown.
Weird.
And yes, weird as hell. But then you forget. They just forget he's there. And he's like comes back and helps Seth Rollins from time to time. And then he's gone. And then he gets released. So all these folks are going to be fine. Buddy Murphy will be. Him and Aleister Black used to kill it on SmackDown. They had that. There was a great stretch of matches they had where they were absolutely killing it. And I'm like, yo, obviously both these guys are really good. And if you give Buddy Murphy a character and something to do instead of being someone's lackey, I think he'll be good. Aleister Black was good as hell. He was one of my favorites to watch over the last few years because he was different. Right. And his intro is like that was hard. It was so hard. And his NXT stuff, we can always Nick
23 minutes. I need to save that clip.
Like we
Chris Anthony Lopez going.
No, like you're fine. And Nick, we scream for the rooftops how much we love NXT, how NXT is great. But like Aleister Black, how do you mess that up? Mm-hmm. How do you mess that up? And us fans are over here like, can you give us more Aleister Black, please? And they say, no, you don't get Aleister Black. But Aleister Black's like, oh, Vince liked me. Vince let me do what I want. And then we're like, oh, like you like Aleister Black? Can we get more Aleister Black? No, you can't because apparently he's too good. Like, and apparently we had nothing for him. And he was a Paul Heyman guy. Paul Heyman was over here like, oh yeah, this Aleister Black guy has something to do with it. Rumors were he was supposed to wrestle Lesnar before the pandemic really shut everything down last year. Like that would have been insane. How much of a rub is that? Like wrestling Lesnar now, and we'll get to Lesnar later, but wrestling Lesnar now is almost like a reward.
Right.
When Balor did it at the Rumble a couple years ago, and let me rephrase. Wrestling Lesnar is like a reward unless you're Kofi Kingston. But everybody else.
Well, no, he elevated Ricochet.
He did. He made Ricochet. I mean, he definitely elevated him. He F5'd his ass to the moon. Oh, but I'm over here like
back to America.
Right. Back to America. He skipped the plane when everybody else was stuck there. Ricochet just landed at HQ in Connecticut. But how do you mess up someone like Aleister Black? How do you mess up someone like Ruby Riott? How do you Lana? Yes, it was the worst kept secret in the world when Rusev got released that Lana was not going to be that far afterwards because that's her husband. And like what you said, Nick, they like to keep these folks together. But at the same time, y'all been trying to make us like Lana for a long time now, and y'all were still trying, and then you just let her go. Granted, she'll pop up in AEW in September.
There's no way she doesn't, in my opinion.
There's no way in hell she doesn't, right? And then they can do Penelope Ford, Kip Sabian, and Miro Lana matches to the day we die. But I'm just over here baffled at this group, and this is the second time we're talking about this year. This same year, and odds are, rumor has it, reports are, this will not be the last time we're having this discussion, but it'll be about different folks. Now the question is, who the hell is next? And I don't want this to become a prediction show either, because that's awful, and we should not be asking. That's why I'm so shitty, because these people are losing their jobs. But New Japan will come in and take Strowman. Aleister Black will go to Tony's Island. It's going to be, these folks are going to be fine. But damn it. Well, this is so infuriating.
And it's like, another thing that I'm wondering, and I know we loved him so much, just say it right now, Story Magnifique. How much did Bad Bunny cost you? How much did Logan Paul cost you?
Right.
To me, a lot of that stuff felt incredibly unnecessary. If we're looking at this right now. Mm-hmm. Bad Bunny maybe, but like, I'm just saying, like, you had to have paid these guys astronomical amounts of money. And I understand that you're playing Logan Paul as a heel technically in this situation, because he's with
Bad Bunny even more so, because he was around for the build.
Right. And they also seem like they wanted to make you like him during it. It's just like, and there's rumors that he might come back. It's like, no casual wrestling fan is clamoring for Logan Paul to appear. Right. You know what I mean? Bad Bunny proved it in the ring. I get it, but again, how much money did that waste just to release Braun Strowman later on? You know what I mean? That's where I get annoyed with the celebrity involvement a little bit too much, because if you're cost cutting, what's more important? Your guy, or a celebrity that might make you a little bit more money?
My only response to that is that 2020 was one of the most financially productive years that WWE has had in their lifetime.
Clearly it wasn't.
And apparently it was not, because they're still cutting costs. And I wonder, is it not having fans? Is it not doing the live events? Even though the future of live events is still up in the air, they probably won't be every other damn day where there isn't a live show. But what the future of I'm worried. I hate when I wake up to news, or when news is texted to us. And it's like, oh, yo, man, like, these wrestlers got the boot. And I was rocked when I saw Braun Strowman. I was rocked when I saw Aleister Black. I was rocked when I saw Ruby Riott and Lana and Buddy Murphy, who recently was just on television. Same thing for the last crop. We're still talking about the Iconics. Still. And when they pop up in the Impact Zone, and they're going to get the pop of a lifetime. When they show up at Slammiversary, oh my Lord and Savior. It's going to be some real shit. I might have to buy Slammiversary just so I can see the shit myself. Like, that's...
Well, and you posed an interesting question. Is it because they're not having a good financial year? Is it because they're trying to cut costs? Or is it because they're trying to sweeten the deal?
What deal, you may ask? Not the Falcon Arrow, not that deal. This deal, I bit my tongue when I did that one. WWE may be selling to NBC. The big rumors were when this came out, right, is that, oh, they're cutting costs so they can sell. Oh, they're selling. Who the hell are they selling to? Who's going to buy Vince McMahon's Wonderland? The peeps that currently host them on streaming. The Peacock. The premium cock over there at Comcast Universal and NBC. And now, wrestling companies being sold, we're no stranger to them. And shit, we come on the show every single week and we're like, Tony Khan's going to buy Impact, which, by the way, is going to be on Impact, I think, next week. So, if WWE sells to Peacock, or not Peacock, NBC, will that change the way we look at wrestling, or we look at this wrestling? Nick, I posed that question to you. What changes? Something will change.
Tony Khan becomes the most important figure in wrestling if Vince McMahon is not involved.
Ooh, I love that sentence.
Because
Talk
here's
talk.
the thing. There's no WWE without a McMahon, and I'm sure that they will have them involved in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, they ain't going anywhere.
Because Triple H is doing so well with NXT that if they get rid of Triple H, then what's the point? You know, and Triple H, somebody that I think I was watching a Cultaholic video made this just horribly funny joke saying like Triple H married into that family for a reason. Like, what the hell is this? No, love Stephanie. We ship them like crazy. Anyways, my point,
Stephanie, she started the women's revolution, man. That was all her.
yeah, and Shane McMahon's the greatest wrestler in the world. You know what? The sale doesn't actually sound that bad. But you know, it was so. That's another flooring move right there. When I see that, I'm going, you know, the WWE wouldn't be owned by a McMahon. And another thing that kind of rocked my world in that sentiment, because I have to make this joke, the WWE isn't being bought by Disney. But it's just like, I guess if you're already hosting, it just doesn't make any sense to me. You make this Fox deal, this lucrative Fox deal. You've already sold all of your. You have to imagine that this is coming, unfortunately, right?
So, I saw this thing. I think it was from Cage Side Seats a couple days ago, or it was one of those reputable wrestling outlets, and it said that WWE wanted to be like Marvel. I had no idea what the hell that meant because those are comic books. This is pro wrestling. Granted, there's some overlap, but not too much. But when I was trying to figure out what Marvel meant, I'm like, oh, you're talking about like other projects. You're trying to have a bigger media presence. Mm-hmm. Okay, like I can get that. And they're working towards that. The whole Charlotte Walking Tall thing, and have maybe just doing more crossover with NBC shows. I mean, Young Rock's a thing, and USA, like the Miz and Miss and Mrs. is there. Okay, great. And then this happens. This news, or not news, this rumor drops. Oh,
it is a rumor. We should just kind of bear in mind.
Flat out, this is straight talking out of our ass.
That's why there's a question mark in the movement down at the bottom, the banner. Like the movement. What's wrong with me today?
It's a movement, but
like, why is there a thing going on in the movement? At this point, I might as well just.
He's fat.
Like, I don't know where I'm going with any of this anymore. Go on.
WWE selling to NBC, it does make a lot of sense financially, 1000%. This is a multi-billion-dollar company. You just sold your streaming rights for $1 billion.
Right.
Okay. How much for everything? How much for the whole damn thing?
Range of $2 to $5 billion.
$2 to $5 billion. That's a lot of money for some damn wrestlers. Kidding. But that's a lot of money for real. Because this is a whole empire. It's not. This is the biggest wrestling promotion on the planet. No one can tell me otherwise. I don't give a shit what you think about the wrestling or the content. This is the biggest and most recognizable wrestling product on the face of the earth. 1000%. When people think wrestling, they think WWE. And if they sell to Peacock, what does that mean? Nick, you posed a great question. You posed a great point about the whole Fox stuff. Is SmackDown still going to be on Fox? And then that deal ends and they move it to USA again?
They'd move it back to USA, yeah.
So, or they move it to NBC, Friday nights on NBC, which would be insane.
Sci-fi?
But
damn it, I didn't get that.
But no, this whole deal, don't get me wrong, it makes sense. If I'm Vince, I'm definitely listening. But of course, the McMahons are still going to have a hand in this. This is Vince's Wonderland, dude. He built this from the ground up. He bought it. I shouldn't say that. His father built this from the ground up, and he bought it from his dad. And now he is running this thing. Vince is the most important figure in professional wrestling history.
Right.
Bigger than Rock, bigger than Austin, bigger than Hogan, bigger than San Martino. Vince is the most important figure in wrestling history because of his influence. You can put the belt on anybody, but someone has to push that out. Somebody has to promote the shit out of you. And that was Vince for years. Vince has done everything. Shit. Yeah. He put the belt on himself. Right. And I bet he'll be the first person to act like that didn't happen, but it did, Vince. It did. But here we are. The McMahons are still going to have a presence. What's the future of the product, especially SmackDown? SmackDown on Fox, probably the best thing that happened to the damn thing since The Rock was there in 2002. But I'm over here thinking to myself, how would this work logistically? Are there more cuts coming? And I know the cuts, to go back to the first count for a second, a lot of those are for budgetary reasons. And I read this other thing. Again, I'm talking out of my ass. This is not my news. I'm not breaking this news by any means. But they realized that, I think it was, again, Cage Side, that they realized that their rosters are bloated. Okay, fine. We've been saying that shit for years. But this is how we're going to do it. Like, this is the way we're going to go about it. Y'all are, there's no other way to approach this besides firing people.
Well, don't release your top tier talent.
I mean, well, shit. Like they released those folks for a reason, and obviously we don't know what the hell or how the hell these folks got released besides phone calls, but
and trash bags.
Yes, and trash bags. But I'm shocked that after years of poaching up every single independent talent that you can because you don't want AEW or New Japan or Ring of Honor to pick them up, and then now in the year of our Lord 2021, you're going to sit here and think, oh, we have too many people. Shit. And now here you are firing them and looking horrible in the process. There is no, you can think, you can come up with all the ways how this works financially. 100%. You can talk about that shit day in and day out. But you're gonna look like shit. I do not feel bad for their PR department. I don't. Like, because like WWE put them in that position to freaking fail. Yeah. They look awful. Go on all the social media posts right now. There are gonna be questions about, why did you fire Aleister Black?
Oh, the comments are terrible.
Who's next? Fire AJ Styles?
Sorry.
No, and in front of the show, Victor Albane actually asked me that question, like, who's untouchable? And I'm like, that's a great question. Spoiler alert, we did not come up with too many names because of who they are and where they stand right now on the card. But at the same time, if you'd have told me Strowman a month ago, I would have been like, oh, hell no, that man's not going anywhere. So I'm an idiot. So take my opinion with a grain of salt. But a move to NBC, let me talk about this positively instead of bitching and moaning about it. This can open up more opportunities for them to do more things.
Yes.
This is more because you're under NBC. That's Comcast, Universal. Movies, television shows, you get more money to do things. You get to have bigger, and although the documentaries right now on Peacock are incredible, there's some great stuff on there, and they do a great job with it. You can do bigger things. Maybe this is that platform for a main event that we've been asking for. Right. They push another show, so we can spotlight talent who aren't on SmackDown or Raw every week, and you can do bigger stuff at NXT. And it's just more money funneling into the company. But now instead of Vince at the top, right, you have more flexibility. But that flexibility is now ran by a bird and not Vince and whoever the hell is on top of NBC. And that's the big concern. When Fox got bought by Disney a few years ago, the big concern was, oh my God, yes, Disney's like the big conglomerate's going to go ahead and buy Fox and Fox Studios and all the properties. But now, as a fan, what are they going to do with those properties? What are they going to do with those things?
Right.
That's my biggest concern. What does, like, because Vince won't be calling the shots. Shit, on SmackDown, Fox is like, oh no, we like that Roman guy, put him there. Oh, we like the Cesaro guy, put him there too. But like, oh, Cesaro, yeah, put him there. Main event his ass. What are you doing? And it's great because it's Fox, but what happens when that ends? And now it's NBC. I don't want SmackDown to go back to USA. We saw how that worked. Are they going to put them on? There's no way they're going to give up a Friday night sitcom slot to wrestling.
Right.
Like that's not going to happen unless
You've
it's
invested so much into it. Do you?
Right. Do they change days again? Like, does SmackDown go on later in the night on a different channel? We can't sit here and predict the future. And again, this is one big hypothetical. We're talking out of our ass. the second this gets confirmed by something or someone, we'll talk about this on the show again with bigger implications, with more facts and such. But until then, WWE is awfully interesting to watch nowadays for all the wrong reasons.
Unfortunately,
it's not the product.
And that was Chris Anthony Lopez and Nick Mulbach bitching about wrestling for 2 seconds.
Yes, but is this going to stop me from watching WWE?
No.
It's
going to make me question. I mean, listen, this show exists because of WWE. My gosh, I can't. I literally
the double E, bro.
He's fat.
This show exists because of this is my take too. This show exists because of the WWE. You know, it doesn't exist because of TNA. It doesn't exist because of Ring of Honor or AEW. It exists because of the WWE.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So So it's not going to stop us from watching the Double E. It's just going to have us continue to watch with a little bit of skepticism.
Yes, and now I am more interested than I am, I'm more interested in the backstage stuff than I was a week ago. I'll tell you that.
Oh.
And yes, Jesse's pronounced wrestling. All that wrestling. Gotta love me some wrestling. But enough about WWE. We just got done hypothesizing for 20 minutes. AEW Double or Nothing happened this past Sunday, and Nick and I want to talk about it. Let's do it. Double or Nothing. Let's talk about one of the best pay-per-views, if not the best pay-per-view of this year, AEW Double or Nothing. So, Nick, we did predictions on this show last week, and I kind of want to touch on this first before we go any further. The Battle Royal for the what's it called? The goddamn I forget what it's called. The Casino Battle Royal. Thank you.
To you, my friend.
Thank you. The Casino Battle Royal. And I don't like being that guy. I don't, Nick. But Jungle Boy is the move, baby. Dude, Jungle Boy.
Hey, we literally were texting each other during the final two.
Big
it was
pop.
Christian and it was Jungle Boy. And we're like, wow, we did that.
Wrestle Reel nailed the final two.
And then it ended up being Jungle Boy. And don't get me wrong, I am ecstatic that I get to watch Jungle Boy lose to Kenny Omega. I am ecstatic. I'm so excited about this. It is going to be fantastic. I would be saying the exact same thing as Christian. Don't get me wrong. Now, that said, a very, 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 very unlikely person to take the title off of Kenny, though I would love to see it, made his debut during that match.
That too.
And that was the red hot Lio Rush. Oh my gosh. The dude is on fire right now.
Big pop, baby. Big pop.
And I was so thrilled because I was thinking to myself earlier, I'm like, what if Lio Rush beat Kenny Omega? That would be one hell of a match.
That'd be dope. That'd be crazy as hell. I'll tell you that shit too.
So I want, before we move on with the show, because we're starting with the Casino Battle Royal, I need to give my comeuppance to you, Chris Anthony Lopez, but at the same time, I need to give my comeuppance to freaking Lio Rush. I was so excited. I was so upset at the fact that Ryback posted a picture of his ring gear that night. But I was excited when the Joker was Lio Rush and not Ryback.
That I would love to see Ryback's reaction in the Dynamite Zone. But yes, Jungle Boy, big pop from me over here.
Big
when
pop.
Nick and the Wrestle Reel boys, we nailed the final two to a T. It's just that that Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, went over, and I was over the moon. The second I found out that it was those two, I'm like, oh my God, they're doing it. They're really going to do it. And because if anyone's going to put over somebody, it's going to be Christian at this point in his career. Yeah. I'm like, okay, great, sweet, dope. They did it. Yes, Lio Rush came out. He wasn't in it for too long. Kind of shitty about that. But, I mean, it was a cool pop nonetheless. Great reaction. Shows that the fans here at AEW or in America, really, because I know he's been doing some AAA stuff. We still love Lio Rush out here. But holy hell, big pop for Jungle Boy. Give me some love for Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus and Marco Stunt. Whole Jurassic Express needs to do more on AEW television. I hope this is a great gateway to that. So please and thank you, Tony Khan. I will thank you ahead of time. And Christian will get his we're going to see Christian Omega in some weird dream match of sorts sometime probably later this year. But that's in a rule as well.
Mhm.
So, and shout out to Matt Hardy too for being the third in the final 3. But that huge pop from Wrestle Real to see Jack Perry, aka Jungle Boy, winning that damn thing. Now, will he win the match? Probably not. To my chagrin.
Probably. I'm sorry.
But a boy could dream. A boy could dream. And I'm a
Darby who takes the title off.
Which again, when you said it last week, I still
it's Hollywood Hogan versus Sting.
Yo. Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
And
yeah.
Hopefully, Bret Hart doesn't come out and blow the ending of the match.
No, that'd be weird, right? Okay, moving on. The pre-show match was Serena Deeb and Riho, and it was an absolute knockout. That match ruled. Serena Deeb, man, like I don't want to shit on WWE anymore any more than we already have, but
they blew it with her.
Oh my god, Serena Deeb is the shit, dude. Like she's so good, and putting her to Riho, like and AEW, we love Riho over there in Dynamite Zone, but holy shit, that match ruled, and that was the pre-show. Probably one of the best matches of the night, and it was in the damn pre-show. Folks got that for free. Like that match was nuts. I'm pissed that you talked me out of Adam Page last week. Still shitty, because Adam Page did beat Brian Cage, and in hindsight, looking back at it, granted hindsight's 2020, but first time in front of a full live crowd, they weren't gonna have Adam Page lose,
right? Yeah.
Oh my god, that man is gonna be champion very, very soon as well. I'm tired of low key. The more we talk about Kenny or Jericho's champion stuff, the more I'm like, yo, why isn't the belt on someone like Hangman nowadays? I get it. You want that big mainstream exposure, but Hangman's where the party's at. By the way, congrats, Hangman. He's going to be a dad.
That's right.
Be daddy Hangman. But I'm pissed they talked me out of Hangman Page last week.
I know. And listen, so is he the champion then?
Who?
Hangman Page?
I don't know. There's no belts exchanged.
Okay. I thought it was for the FTW or whatever.
Yeah, no belts were exchanged. No belts were exchanged.
Yes, Hangman won. Sorry I convinced you otherwise. I thought the title was on the line as well.
I bought into the Brian Cage thing. I bought into it. It's my own fault. But it's crazy to see Hangman Page's like his like him just climbing up to the top the way he has. And since AEW's inception, no one's benefited from AEW more than Hangman Page.
Yeah.
Nobody. And I'm trying to think of somebody who would. Moxley, maybe Omega in the mainstream. Britt Baker. That's another one. And we'll get to her in a little bit. But I think Hangman's the one that really shot to superstardom the second he showed up. The second he got there. They didn't try pulling any bullshit with him. They knew what he was. They made him an alcoholic. We all loved him for it. And then now here he is. He's leading off shows. He's kicking off shows and absolutely tearing it apart. Hangman Page will be a star going forward. And if AEW don't pull the trigger on him soon, I'm scared that it'll be too late. Granted, he's like 29 or something, so he'll be fine. But sooner rather than later with Hangman Page. On some real shit. The second match on the card, the proper card, was the Bucks and Moxley and Kingston.
We wanted Mox and Kingston to win. I mean, they got the biggest pop out of anybody in the entire building that night, other than Britt Baker, which we'll get to. But like, yeah, right. it was a match that I wanted them to win, but I didn't think that they were going to, which is why I picked the Bucks to beat them. You got to keep the titles with the Elite. Well, Kenny is champion, in my opinion. maybe not entirely the entire time, but it's a little bit too early in that conception to move on from them too quickly. They're also doing the whole Instagram or Twitter bio thing every single time that they have a match, and it's entertaining.
Right.
I mean, the Bucks are killing it. Mox and
Kingston, baby.
I'm not gonna play it again. Mox and Kingston, he's fat. Mox and Kingston are killing it right now, and like I am just very.
He's fat!
Mox and Kingston are killing it right now, though it's just not their time. I think that eventually we might see them as the tag team champions. Who knows if that split is going to be coming soon or not. I don't think that they're going to end that dynamic duo too soon. But yeah, it was a good match. Good match.
With my impression with the finish, they're going to write off Mox. Was Mox on Dynamite this past week? I didn't watch.
Because it was weird Friday night Dynamite?
No, like this past Wednesday.
I don't think so.
So, like, I know, like, Renee's going to give birth anytime soon. They're probably going to write off Mox. So, they probably won't win the belt recent or not within the next couple months. But when he gets back with Kingston, probably put him right back with Kingston. Because the best thing to happen was Mox putting over Kingston.
Yes.
And now Eddie can do some incredible shit. What will happen between now and then? I have no idea. Right. But the Bucks, why did they ever try to be baby faces? The Bucks baby faces don't work. It just doesn't work. They're natural assholes, and just let them. All right, do it then. Be heels for the rest of your careers. That's the only thing that works. Like when they were baby faces, they were bland on Dynamite. They weren't doing anything. They had nothing of substance. Now they're heels. They're the tag champs. Granted, it's their company. They can do whatever they want. But they're actually like good characters, and I like the Bucks as characters. I may not be the biggest fan of the Bucks, but I like watching them wrestle. I think they're great. I think they kick ass. And something in that match, it was really damn good. Can't complain. 4 people that can wrestle. Moving on to Rhodes and a Go-Go. Why the hell is Cody Rhodes pinning Anthony Ogogo? Why?
Go through all the Dream Factory.
Why he beats QT Marshall on Dynamite. And then he goes and wrestles Anthony Ogogo. By the way, Cody Rhodes a couple weeks ago wanted to be a civil rights leader and be like, "Oh, you're gonna pin the biracial British Olympic hero on pay-per-view, who's white hot, by the way." The crowd was behind Anthony Ogogo. But the second that Cody Rhodes walked out like Homelander, we all should have known what was going to happen. We all should have known. Cody Rhodes, the thing that I love Cody Rhodes. I do. I love Cody Rhodes. But damn it. I don't like when he pops up. How many, Nick, if you can do a quick little searchy for me.
Yeah.
How many times has Cody Rhodes been pinned in singles action? According to AEW's rankings. Because they keep track. And that's the best part, is that they keep track of all their records.
I find that on their website. I'm looking.
Yes. It should be on their website.
Yes.
But
okay, go on. Sorry.
Cody Rhodes, I feel like that man has been pinned less than 10 times in singles action.
Oh, let's see here.
Do we got it?
Looking for
I know they split up the year.
He's 7-1.
This year? In singles action?
8-2.
Oh, okay, so he's 8-2.
Tag team in singles action, he's 7-1.
In singles action, he's 7-1. Do they have the overall?
40, 11, and 2.
He's been pinned 11 times in singles action. Okay. I guess I can swallow that pill. But damn it, man. You could have lost to a Go-Go and pinned him have the rematch on Dynamite and have him win there. Or why are you beating Anthony Ogogo on pay-per-view? That really bothers the hell out of me.
It's so stupid.
And I get it. He's Cody Rhodes, and he's one of the more recognizable faces to mainstream people. But AEW is for the mercs, and we all love Anthony Ogogo.
And you know what? There was a point where we all loved Cody for that exact same reason. You know what I mean? It's just, it stinks. You know, it could be worse.
Could be. We've seen worse.
Because technically speaking, Kenny, who is killing it, don't get me wrong, has part ownership in this company, right? Or is like a VP and blah, blah, blah.
They're all EVPs, baby.
And he's the champion. Cody could be the champion and never lose it. You know what I mean?
Right. I guess. But damn it, man. Damn it. We can't have anything nice. Something we did get to see that was pretty cool. Miro retained over Lance Archer. The match wasn't too long. I don't think there's anything to really write home about besides the fact that Miro dominated the shit out of Lance Archer.
Right.
They're finally pulling the trigger on Miro being, better Rusev, and that's great. Yes, please give me more. And when he's joined by Lana later this summer, it'll be an awfully great tandem in Tony's world. Like Miro's the shit. I'm so glad they're finally doing Miro justice. Finally. Because Lord knows he was Kip Sapien's best man.
Sean Dean is 0-33 in AEW.
Big job, dude. Big job.
Holy crap. Sorry. I haven't seen these rankings before, so as we're talking about this, I'm looking at them, and that's wild.
Yeah, the ranking, that's the one downfall to AEW is that you can easily look up who they're booking and how they're booking them.
Right.
And like folks like Cody Rhodes, Kenny Omega haven't lost too much in 3 years, 2-3 years. And like it's been a minute. It's definitely been a minute.
I mean, then again, they're booking their champions well. They're booking contenders well. I can't. I mean, Cody Rhodes is not even within the top of the rankings. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, because he was away for a while, so they're not going to have him there. But someone who they were treating really well for a while was Hikaru Shida.
Yeah.
Hikaru Shida, she carried the AEW women's division over the course of the pandemic, and she should be respected as such. I know she's succumbed to a lot of racist wrestling fans over the last few months, and to you, I say a fuck off. Sorry, Nick, I used your one. But
hey,
Hikaru,
I agree.
Yeah. Hikaru Shida is the shit. But I thought it was the worst kept secret in the world the second they booked her against Dr. Britt Baker DMD that she was losing at Double or Nothing. And then they announced that it's going to be in front of a whole crowd, 5,000 people.
That's right.
And then the match starts. And the crowd cannot be any more behind Britt Baker. The doctor is in, baby. She pins and wins the AEW Women's Championship. The new and improved AEW Women's Championship, by the way. New big belt. And now it's time for Britt to shine. Since we've been talking about this for months now, and then they pulled the trigger on it.
Finally.
We're a bunch of Britt Baker marks over here.
That's right.
Love Britt.
She's great. She's fantastic. I don't know. I enjoy watching Britt Baker.
And yeah, beating Hikaru, it sucks, but Shida was on top for a while. Yes, it was pandemic wrestling, but it still counts in my book. And she was still really damn good. But it was time for Britt to shine. It's Britt's division. She's been the talking point of the women's division for a while now. It's time to have Britt be on top. And it'll be for a minute too. Who dethrones her? I don't even think that's a conversation we should have because it'll be a while before someone does. If I'm being frank.
We shouldn't worry about it too much.
But when it does, it'll be Thunder Rosa. So moving on. Tag match, Darby Allin Sting. They beat Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. Sting actually wrestling in front of a crowd for the first time in years.
Did pretty well.
He did damn good for being 70 years old. Old man Sting, dude. When I realized that he wasn't playing around was when he took that suplex from Scorpio Sky in the beginning of the match. He no-sold it like a mofo and then dove onto them off the chips. This man's crazy as hell. Darby Allin's rubbing off on his ass. And I'm over here like, oh shit. Here we go again. Sting about to act like he's 23 and go nuts. But in a limited role, Sting did really damn good. Really damn good. I love seeing Sting in matches like this. Yeah, it sucks at the expense of Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. They'll get the comeuppance. They'll get the comeuppance. Right. Because it's Sting. And I bet when they were told, oh, you're going to lose to Sting. All right, bet. Cool. Word. On some real shit. Have him. We'll put him over in every way, shape, and form. Because you got to work with somebody. You got to put the two younger guys against Sting so they can work. And damn it, it succeeded. The match wasn't too long, thank God. But successful nonetheless. Now, when do we see Darby Allin versus Sting? That's the question.
I think you turn Sting heel in that situation.
Totally. Darby has to stay face for the rest of the time.
As the next Sting.
Darby will be face for the rest of the time. He should be, at least.
And he's gonna have Joker face paint eventually, and it's gonna get weird. And sorry, that's just Sting.
Yeah, and he's gonna wrestle. To wrestle Jeff Hardy at Victory Road, 2031. But moving on. I love you, Jeff. I love you, brother. Moving on. The sub-main event, the penultimate match, was the triple threat for the AEW World Championship. Kenny Omega, the champion, against Pac and Orange Cassidy. And he barely got out of that match. He needed every single person in belt to help him out to beat Pac and Orange Cassidy. Nick, I want to ask you this question.
Yeah.
I know we're cut from the same cloth. Just my part of the cloth was a little bit burnt. And like we share a lot of the same opinion, and we like a lot of the same shit. So I want to ask you this question I was posed. How do you feel about Orange Cassidy and the position that he's in?
I think he's great. He's a character in wrestling. You know, we don't have a lot of those anymore. At least WWE likes to take them and neuter them to no level, to the point that they don't exist. You know, he's a gimmick, I will say, not a character. Well, a character and a gimmick. We could debate as to whether those are the same thing or not. You know what I mean? But he brings an interesting moveset. He brings I like him. Just for the fact that he brings something new to wrestling. You know what I mean? It's the same thing that I love The Fiend for. You know, it's something really freaking different and out there. And I enjoy wrestling that is different and out there.
Do you buy him as the AEW World Heavyweight Champion at any point?
That's the issue. Not really.
Okay. Even after everything you just said.
Well,
not that I disagree. I'm just curious.
I didn't buy him until that match. Gotcha. Because if there was a standout of that match, it wasn't Kenny, it wasn't Pac, it was Orange Cassidy. Put it all on the line for that.
It was OC, baby.
So, yes. Now, before I did not view him as a potential AEW World Champion. But now I could see it for sure.
OC...
Not to make it seem like I flip-flopped on my point, but it's just like...
Oh, no, I get what you're saying.
It took him being in that spotlight to prove it to me that he could do it, but I do believe that he can now because it's an underdog story.
Right, and characters like Orange Cassidy in wrestling, and just in the history of wrestling, you don't see them as top guys.
Right.
You don't. Like, they're there to entertain, but you don't see them as the top of the food chain. But over the last year, and I will go as far as saying Revolution 2020, and I'm biased because I was at the show, and it was the shit, and I saw OC wrestle Pac, that singles match, and OC rocked Pac to his core.
Yes.
And in this match, yes, OC stood out like a mofo.
Right.
And like what I said at the top, Kenny needed every person, every buck, every callus, every belt to beat these two guys. Yes, is it the chicken shit heel that needs the help? Sure, but this story was super well told, and we bought it. And if Pac and Cassidy weren't already over, they are now. I buy both these guys as future world champions, if I'm being frank. And and I hate saying that because I feel like every time I come on the show, I'm like, why isn't this person the champion? Why isn't this person the champion? Like, because I want everyone to succeed. I want everyone to be champion.
Right.
But OC, dude, give that man, put him in the TNT title picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's back with Miro, but damn it. Do it.
Credit where credit's due in that situation. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And Orange Cassidy, yes, it's a polarizing character, and wrestling purists hate him. Hate him because he is like old school character. He's living the gimmick. I saw him at a convention once, and he was that guy. He was just
chill.
Yeah, it was that dude, and it was great. Not too many folks do that anymore. I mean, AEW has a couple of them, but Cassidy is one of the standouts to me, him and MJF. So Cassidy, I buy him as a champion now. And he had near fall of the night in that match. Everybody thought, they were like, oh my God. Like, there was a second where we all thought that Cassidy was going to win that match. Mm-hmm. And all of us here at Wrestle Reel and the collective of wrestling internet would have lost their damn minds.
Oh, no doubt.
Everybody, Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, 4chan, Wrestle Reel again, everybody, Tumblr, we all would have lost our shit. We all would have lost our shit. MySpace. MySpace, Tout, everybody would have lost their damn minds. And it would have been absolutely insane. But the belt's going to be on Kenny for a minute. The belt will be on Kenny for a minute. And it was fun while it was there. I don't know if they were not going to pull the trigger on Cassidy anytime soon. No. But him with Miro, I can buy it.
I think it's coming. I think it's coming. I think it could be coming for sure. I mean, more power to them, and I want Cassidy to prove that stuff like this still can work. And I think AEW is the perfect place to do this. Also, I just would like to acknowledge, I saw this on Twitter today. It's Giant Baba Booey.
Who?
Giant Baba. He's a wrestler.
Oh, hey.
It's the guy who says Baba Booey on Howard Stern show. So it's Giant Baba Booey.
Nah.
So, anyways, speaking of silly gimmicks, that let's move on to a silly gimmick match. I'm just kidding.
No, I mean, the Stadium Stampede match main evented the evening. And Nick, remember last week on the show, I mentioned how they were going to try and tie in a different viewing experience with this match?
And the fans who were there got that same exact viewing experience that they did at the last All-In show?
Yes, because all it was the finish happened in the ring.
Yeah.
Everything else was pre-taped everything else was in Khan's world. And this match was fun. Stadium Stampedes are fun. It would have been hard to top the first one. I hate to be that guy, but it's nothing like the first one. And that's coming from the king who I love sequels. I think sequels are great. But this match, it was just different. It had a different vibe to it. Maybe because why do you have the Pinnacle in another match like this and take the loss? And you're booking yourself into a corner because you just had this white hot ass team in the Pinnacle win blood and guts. MJF looking like a star, blood all over his face. That's another Britt Baker like moment.
Yes.
And then the next week you're like, let's run it back. And where the Jaguars play football, let's run it back.
And have Urban Meyer make an appearance.
Yeah, have Urban Meyer show up, which is a great Easter egg. Great little cameo there. By
it was
Urban
the Vince
Meyer.
McMahon office moment in the WWE headquarters.
Yes. The Money in the Bank. Yes. That 1,000% was.
So great.
That ruled. That was.
It was Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles that got to do it. Anyways, sorry. Urban Meyer was cool seeing it.
But seeing that cameo was fun. Guevara pinned Spears in the ring to win the match of the Inner Circle, so they're not going to break up. Yay! But the Pinnacle lost at the end of the day. And I had Inner Circle winning last week because I didn't think they were going to disband. But at what cost? You had the Pinnacle take an L on pay-per-view.
Yeah. Sammy taking the... Sammy said, jeez, why? I promise I didn't take anything before I did this.
He's fat!
Sammy getting the pin really elevated his career.
Oh, one hell of a statement, Nick Mulbach.
I think that it was great that Sammy got the pin because I thought that in Blood and Guts he was the MVP of the match.
Yes, he was.
And minus MJF, obviously.
It's not MJF, yes.
To see Sammy get the pin was really big for him. I thought it was important because I think that he could be that type of a guy who's fighting Miro, depending on who turns. I guess they're faces, right?
Who, the Inner Circle?
Yeah.
Yes.
In this situation. So, like, Sammy's a guy that I want to see continue to grow as a wrestler and continue to get better and better. So him getting a pin there was fine. But yeah, it's at the end of the day, where do you go from here with the Pinnacle? Because you want MJF's stock to rise to astronomical heights, which you were already starting to do. You just got to continue and continue. You got to just figure. I almost did it again. You just got to continue to. You got to elevate MJF. Forget the rest of the Pinnacle. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to discredit any of them. You know what I mean? But MJF's got to be the guy that.
Oh, right.
I'm saying this like I love the Pinnacle. I think that I think Shawn Spears, no matter where he goes, is the most underutilized person in WWE and AEW history.
Yes.
And FTR is unbelievable.
Yes.
But MJF has to be the. There's no way you're doing heel versus heel with with the Bucks and FTR. So MJF needs to be the guy to come out of this. Whether that means putting the TNT title on him not too soon after this, I don't know, because he's not going to be the guy to take the title off of Kenny.
No.
But if like Hangman Page and Darby Allin are,
MJF can ruin that party.
MJF is your perfect guy to go after either of them. But once, because MJF becoming world champion is gonna happen, in my opinion.
I said by Revolution next year, baby.
It's the WWE recognizing what they have in the Miz earlier on in his career. You know what I mean?
Yes. And he's a better wrestler.
Well, it's Miz nowadays as a younger person. Because the Miz that debuted early on was never going to become world champion, but then they started to change his character into what the world champion was. But like MJF is the Miz right now as top tier talent as a 23-year-old?
Right, he's like 24, 23, yeah.
So it's just got to be, but I think that personally, I think AEW is going to run into an issue where they really need to prove that you don't need a title to elevate a feud. And they've been proving it so far. But I mean that after Kenny is world champion, now what?
Right.
Because MJF, in my opinion, is that next top tier heel, right? Never turning face. He's that next top tier heel, and Kenny shouldn't be turning face. So where does something like that? That's where AEW is really going to prove it to me. Is after this world championship run for Kenny Omega, because it can't last forever. Clearly,
right.
You have too many talented wrestlers,
and Kenny's like 40.
Eventually,
so
it's going to become bloated and blah blah blah. But it's how they elevate Kenny after this world championship, and I understand that this has nothing to do with really what we're talking about, but it has everything to do with MJF, because MJF is that next top heel.
Yes.
And clearly you can't have both of them at the top. So what do you do with Kenny afterwards is going to be incredibly important to me, at least as a fan of AEW, because WWE has a tendency to have the heel lose the world championship and then have them go all the way down on the card.
Right.
It happened with Jinder. It happened with Dolph Ziggler. It happened with... It's happened so many times. You know what I mean? It happened when Baron Corbin was the Money in the Bank. I could name off a million different things. But WWE in the past has elevated that superstar beyond that point. But my point is like, can AEW do something that, in my opinion, WWE can't consistently? They can elevate a face
He's fat!
They could elevate a face beyond that point. Sorry, that's my new thing. But they could elevate. Why haven't I been?
Paycheck.
All of my blunders. I think that he's fat also kind of came out of a just he's fat. But I want to see what AEW does without destroying the momentum of their top heel after they lose their world championship.
No, and I understand what you're saying, and maybe that turned into a Kenny Omega face turn. I've always liked Kenny as a face, but him as a heel is definitely the better version of that character.
Yes.
So it totally depends on who he drops the belt to, but MJF is the future of that company, and they can wait on him to be champion, but when they pull the trigger, it'll be a big deal. It'll be a very, very big deal. And that's why he hasn't even had, how many title matches has he had? Not too many, if at all. So that's going to be real telling to see what the future of MJF holds in AEW. And it starts all here with the Pinnacle and the Inner Circle. They may have one more blow-off match to end the feud, but it should involve the Pinnacle going over. It should.
For sure.
But we'll see.
And another important thing before we move on to the high spot, Mark Henry makes his debut, and he's going to be a commentator. And before everybody gets into the blacklisting in the WWE, he talked to Vince just like Paul White did before he did this. Happy to see Mark Henry. I love Mark Henry. I don't think that he's going to be fighting. I don't think Paul White should be fighting, even though I think he's more likely out of all of them to eventually make his in-ring debut. But happy to see Mark Henry being involved in wrestling. Another one of the Randy Orton casualties. That said, unless you have anything on Mark Henry.
Mark Henry, it was cool seeing him. He'll be fun to hear on Rampage. He's a great character, great personality. Has a bunch of charisma. I mean, his charisma is what got him through his career. Like, yeah, world's strongest man, but I love like Sexual Chocolate and the Hall of Pain are two drastically different things that he excelled at. Yes. So Mark Henry in AEW as a coach and as a color commentator, hell yeah, I'll take it and some more. Extra incentive to watch Rampage. Absolutely. Extra incentive to watch Rampage. Let's do a little high spot, baby.
Take it away.
So
this is a collective high spot.
This is the both of us. We chatted about this beforehand. We both know what we're talking about. The high spot, for those who don't know, is Nick and I sometimes we get extremely upset. Not just upset, but extremely upset. And more so me, I like to bitch, moan, and complain in this segment by its lonesome. But today's pretty interesting because I don't know how we're both going to react. We know what we're talking about, but we don't really know exactly how we're going to go about it. And the one thing that is constant, though, between our conversation is the future of Brock Lesnar. Yeah. Because rumor has it, he's going to pop up at SummerSlam, the first big show that the WWE will put on this upcoming summer, and this August in Vegas. That's the rumor, right? To be in Vegas, maybe even on a Saturday pay-per-view for WWE. Never. But Nick, I'm curious into your 2 cents. How do you feel about Lesnar coming back?
Well, I'll start off by saying this: for the longest time, Brock Lesnar was actually in the WWE alumni section. That said, quietly, the WWE has moved him back to the Raw section of the roster. I just, before I started any of that speculation, I went back just now just to confirm. And yeah, Brock Lesnar is back on the Raw section. Funny enough, filling in Braun Strowman's spot. BR. I don't know. Anyways, Brian Zane, come on our show. Anyways, so my perspective on this. I almost pushed it there.
Almost got the flag, baby. Almost got the flag.
I don't know. It's inevitable. Will he come back with Heyman? Will Heyman be a Raw guy and a SmackDown guy now? Will he have his guys? And eventually his guys will need to feud at Survivor Series? I think that SummerSlam ends with a stare down between Brock and Roman as heels. Maybe. At SummerSlam, do we finally get the match that we've always wanted? Is the question.
Which one?
Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar.
No.
No.
If how I think it's gonna pan out, no.
You think Drew is going to face against Brock Lesnar in a rubber match?
No.
Oh. You tell, buddy.
So the big so let me address this real quick. Lesnar, fine. I'm someone who I'm real wishy-washy on Brock Lesnar. Sometimes I'm like, yay! And other times I'm like, hell nah, man, get the fuck out of here. Like nobody's asking for y'all. Like, get out of here. And like here, example. Survivor Series 18 and 19. Yay! Not, is it 19 or is it 17, 18? 17, 18. Yeah. Yay! First SmackDown on Fox. Oh no! Oh no! I'm real wishy-washy with his ass. Supposedly WWE is trying to smack the hell out of this SummerSlam. They're really trying to make this the best show ever. And okay, great. Circumstances really would appeal to that because the first big pay-per-view in a post-pandemic world, I guess.
Let's not go there yet.
But with what's going on, people are getting vaccinated, numbers are going down. It's great. First big show that WWE would put on with fans. Fantastic. Great.
Did you say big show?
Wait. I was ready for you to pan it out. But maybe Nick and I can go to a SmackDown, maybe at Quicken Loans Arena in Cleveland. We don't know yet. Who knows? But with Lesnar, do you have?
Shoot, I have my SmackDown shirt. I completely forgot about that.
Do you? Now, I think Lashley Lesnar is the way to go.
Yeah,
I do think that is the way to go. Do I think they'll do it? I don't know.
Really?
I don't think they will. I think it's too good to be true. We've been wanting this match for well over a decade, and yeah, Lashley's on top now, but that implies that Lesnar is gonna. Does Lashley beat Lesnar?
No.
Then I don't want it. No, I don't want it. That's not what I want. I'd rather see. I don't know. So okay, hypothetical. Say SmackDown, first SmackDown of in front of our live crowd. And I've seen it come out and get his shit rocked by Brock Lesnar. You do Lesnar Cena again, run it back. I think that's the safest bet without titles having to be swapped.
See, I think that Roman's facing John Cena at SummerSlam.
And yeah, okay, Nick, you know what? I 100% agree with what you're saying. It will probably be Lesnar, Lashley, Cena Reigns. I don't want to see Lesnar beat Lashley because there's no way in hell Cena's beating Reigns. But I don't want to see Lashley drop the belt to Lesnar. So this is my happy medium. I'm creating this world in my brain. And I will be the first person to admit I am hoping what I'm saying happens. You're probably right on the money. Lord knows I'm probably not. But damn it. Lesnar coming back. Who's paying this man? That's another thing. You gotta have Lesnar come back. You're talking about budget cuts, and you're bringing his ass back. Apparently. Yeah. So, and maybe he does bring in money, I guess. But geez, come on. Lesnar coming back. And another great thing to put him on Raw. To your point, you keep him away from Heyman. But is Lesnar representing himself, or is Heyman jumping shows?
I think Heyman jumps shows because I think it leads up to the Heyman guys facing against each other at something. Survivor Series, WrestleMania.
Do you think Roman would be shitty though? That he's
Yes. I think Roman would be very shitty that he's working with Brock as well. I think that that's just the perfect character trait of him is that, you know, he doesn't want anybody within his inner circle working with anybody else. That is why, you know, he's so family about Jimmy Uso right now.
Right. And I've been waiting ever since they aligned Reigns with Heyman. I've been waiting for Lesnar to come back just so I can see how it pans out. But who the hell knows? We'll see. Lesnar coming back, I'm just iffy about it. I don't want him to be like, all right, title's mine again. And that shit gets old.
See you later. I'm gonna go hunting for 3 months.
Right. It gets tiring. I like the champs being on a weekly TV, and Lord knows you need it, especially on Raw, because them ratings are not good. So we'll see the future of Lesnar, but he's back. Lesnar's back, baby. At least according to the website, Lesnar's back on weekly TV. Nick, did we miss anything?
Nothing that I could think about. I mean, listen.
Did I ever show you my Shinsuke Nakamura pop?
No. What?
Move my setup real quick.
You what?
Yep, it's all the way up there. Hold on.
When did it show up?
I'd had this for like 3 years.
Oh wow.
Hopefully I don't expose my undergarments. I showed you my Eddie, but my Nakamura.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's one I need to get for sure.
This was
I gotta have the Nick Mulbach 3 at least. Edge was just kind of an extra one. Although Drew McIntyre was available to me too, and I didn't get it.
Yeah, and the Cena one I got.
Yes, love that one. That one's a classic.
Yeah, the Amazon sticker. I love that Fiend one though. That's one I really wanted. I love the design. But yes.
But no, I don't think that we missed anything.
Oh,
as always, thank you everybody for taking your time out of your day to watch us. We're giving you a half an hour before SmackDown to do whatever it is that you would like to do. But
you already know, baby.
We always appreciate having you here for us to talk about wrestling, for us to bitch about wrestling, for us to love wrestling. Because that's what this show is. We love wrestling. We want it to be great. And unfortunately, WWE isn't always making it easy for us to love it. But
right. But we try to enjoy it the best we can. Make sure you go ahead and follow us down at the bottom. You see our Twitters and our Instagrams floating. You'll also see our Twitters in the description of this video. And subscribe to the channel. Like the video. Leave a comment on this if you're watching this after the fact, after we go live. Because we do try to go live every single Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central, right here on Wwe Real Entertainment. We have a bunch of crazy stuff going on over the next week. You see it on my little screen ski. If you're watching this live, we're doing a Schmo Me the Real after show hangout. Our Schmo Me the Money friends over there on their channel. We're going to be hanging out. Myself, Matt, and Shug. And yeah, it's going to be a good time talking some movie trivia Schmodown. Spin from the Reel every Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Nick was on Really Scared last night talking about Us, a horror movie that he awfully enjoys that I haven't seen, so I couldn't stick around for the conversation to avoid spoilies.
Which is crazy because we've been trying to get you to watch it, and you
right. But Nick, in 7 words, how would you describe your feelings for Us? Not Us, but the movie Us.
I enjoy the movie Us very much.
There you go, baby. And you get his full thoughts, Really Scared. It's already on the channel, happened last night, but there are new shows every single Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Real talk. This upcoming, is it this upcoming week or next week? You have Jay Washington.
This upcoming week.
Jay Washington of the Movie Trivia Schmodown and Blurs in the Hood. He will be on the channel. So Matt and Nick are going to talk to Jay Washington. It's going to be a must-watch show over there. Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Saber Reels, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central for your Star Wars fix. And we have our 250th subscriber special going on next weekend. I believe it's Saturday at 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern. I believe that's the time. We're going to have friends come on. It's going to be one.
A lot of us are going to be in and out trying to get into the stream.
Right. It's going to be one crazy ass thing. It's, yes, 250 doesn't sound like a lot, but to us, it's a ton.
It's a meaningful start for sure.
Yes. So that's next Saturday. And we'll remind you between now and then on all the shows, 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern, next Saturday. So the date is the 12th. We're going to be doing our 250th subscriber special, whatever you want to call it. But of course, check out Wrestle Real, 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central, every single week. So for the WWE alumni, Nick Mulbach, my name is Chris, future endeavor, Thinny Lopez. Thank you guys so much for watching Wrestle Real. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
And that's the bottom line. 'Cause